Welcome to episode 4,
Whoop, whoop.
Vigilante-Verse, Dan, Chris,
Whoop,
Sonig.
whoop.
Yeah, we're all here. Friday.
That is exciting.
It is exciting.
How is everyone?
Really, very well. Better than Sonic.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
actually currently sick. So if I do sound like a man, that is why.
Yeah, don't get confused.
Don't get
There's
Don't
not
get
there's not three
confused.
men here. It's 2 men and Sonic with
Two
the
men
cold.
and me who is sick and drinking a lot of tea right now.
Oh my god. So only two shows this week.
Two
Black
shows this
Lightning,
week.
Legends.
Which is actually kind of good because I'm on an Olympic kick right now.
yeah, a lot of people watching.
pretty
the Olympics.
good.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I've been...
I prefer the Winter Olympics.
Oh, I do. Well,
and
I
the
like
summer
both,
ones.
but
Yeah.
I've been
U.S. does
zoned
better
in.
in the summer ones, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, you have reason to like it more than most, though.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. My jam. But no, it's been
So-
on till like midnight, so I don't get to watch all the shows. So I'm glad that it's on hiatus.
It's cool to watch it live, too.
Yeah,
Like I
it's
said,
really
around,
awesome.
Around
It's
8,
been
you
on-
can watch a lot of the events live.
Yeah, late night they have them live. They had like the women's hockey at like 11 o'clock at night.
Oh,
at
I
one
didn't see
point.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we want to actually talk about it? No, we don't.
Well, no, it's just
No.
something.
No,
I mean, we don't need to
this
talk
is our
about
segue
this.
We need to
into-
address that the Olympics are happening. And,
This is what happened. It's
They're
only
well.
2 weeks,
I
so
know.
it's good.
I know.
yeah, this week
So,
it's Black Lightning.
Black Lightning
and
and Legends. We're gonna do
Legends
Black
of
Lightning
tomorrow.
first, and
Yes,
Legends because
let's
Legends
talk
we have
about-
to.
Yeah,
we'll
Legends has
recap
been
the
on
whole-
hiatus, so we have
yeah.
a lot to talk about. Or more with
Black
Lightning.
Lightning.
Huh.
Before we start, my little tidbit here.
Okay,
Chris was
let's
excited.
hear it.
Well, no, because everyone was wondering, you know, how are they going to incorporate Black Lightning to the Arrowverse? What's going to happen? Are they even going to do it? So I was looked at online, and apparently the creators said that technically right now it's not even part of the Arrowverse.
Right.
Which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And like a quote, I have a quote here actually. I got quotes.
Oh wow, you
Oh.
you got quotes.
One of the guys that works on the show, he says, quote, "We really wanted folks to get to know this family before we started branching out." So it's not saying that it's never going to be a part of it, but probably, I would say not this season. And also, it doesn't even say that they're on the, it's probably, they're probably not even on the same Earth as like Oliver and Barry, like Earth 1, I
Yeah.
think, because
Earth 0.
they're on like Earth, well, Supergirl's,
Current Earth.
Supergirl's on Earth 38, so they'll be like, yeah, Earth whatever.
Is that right?
Yeah,
It's
38.
just, it's
38?
just so weird.
It does.
38. I don't know. It's such a weird.
It's like a random number.
Yeah.
Oh, 38, not
38.
40, not 20, but
And the number
yeah,
must
well,
go pretty high.
because I mean, you see in this episode when one of the daughters, Anissa, she's trying to research like, why do I have these powers? And if she was on the same Earth as like, you know, the Flash, she'd be like, okay. I mean, there's weirder stuff that it's happened. So
Yeah, that's a good point.
you know
That's
what
a
I
good
mean.
point.
So it's definitely not on that Earth.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
That's
and
all
like
I
you
had to
said, the quote unquote, I think they're just trying to figure out the family situation before they go
Yeah.
into the verse,
Yeah.
if they even do that.
I can appreciate that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
That they're building the universe really well.
Yeah. I mean, Supergirl. When I you know have been watching it.
Are you
they
caught
did-
up, Dan?
I finished the second season. Well, now I'm taking time because it's coming back mid-April.
Yeah, there's no rush.
Okay.
but-
Finished the second season. Watched the first episode of the third season.
All right, well, that's a
what-
start.
Yeah, I mean
Hey,
that's
well, you sound pretty excited. So
Oh,
enjoy.
I
you're like,
I
oh, whatever.
really
Yeah.
like the show. I really
like I brush
no,
my teeth and then I wash my hair.
Well, no. The reason I sound like that is because I'm annoyed that I have to wait literally like 2 months now.
It'll fly by. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you'll have all the stuff to talk about with us instead
Oh
of just
my
being
god,
in the
I'm
background.
so
There
excited!
will be-
I'm so excited.
there'll be plenty of shows to
Yeah.
talk about.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for
Um,
sure. But what were you saying before I rudely interrupted you?
What
Sorry.
did I say? Oh crap! I might have to go back to the recording. I have no idea what I was saying.
That's all right.
About Black
Something
Lightning,
about
you were saying in the same universe as Black Lightning.
Yeah, so I mean, it probably won't be the same Earth. I mean, oh yeah, Supergirl. So Supergirl didn't do anything with the Arrowverse until the 18th episode of the first season. And the
Right.
first season only
Right.
only-
But you
they had
met
20
Flash first.
Yeah,
with-
that was
with
the
Supergirl.
That was the 18th episode though.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, when
Okay.
I was watching it, I was like, "Where is the? He's not gonna come."
Yeah, I don't think they.
episode.
The original idea with Supergirl, they weren't even gonna put them together, right?
No.
And then they realized
Yeah,
Well,
and
'cause
then
it
they
was
realized
could.
they could
Right,
do
yeah.
crossovers.
Well, because
yeah.
it was on CBS first, so
Mhm.
they didn't even like think.
But I think CBS made concessions to be like, okay, like we see what's going on with
Right.
CW, we'll
Right.
incorporate
And so
that.
when it went to the CW, one of the creators is like, "Yeah, we call it Earth CBS." That's why they were just like,
Oh,
"Earth
yeah.
38
Yeah.
is where."
Yeah,
Oh,
CW
that's where it
came
came
in.
from.
It's
Yeah.
like, well,
Yeah. So
she's on the Earth where like relationships, relationships
all the
happen.
couples and everything. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
it. All right. So we can get into Black Lightning. Sonic, you want to go first? Tell us how much you love this show.
I hate it. I'm sorry. I
you
do.
hate
I
it.
don't like it.
You like nothing about it.
No.
Nothing.
Wow.
Seriously?
Like, literally, I was watching it yesterday, and I was so bored. I was like, first of all, this is the most cheesiest thing I've ever seen, and I've watched pretty cheesy stuff.
I don't find it that
I'm
cheesy.
not ashamed to admit that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, there's no real plot line. The plot drops in halfway through this, not even halfway. You know that whole part with the serum, and he goes to the tailor shop, and he's like, "Oh, you're on serum. That's why you don't age." I'm like,
Oh
what
yeah,
the?
that was like
We're
that-
getting huge. I mean, we'll
Okay,
get
we're
into
getting that, but at the same time,
that's
it's
the
like
backstory Dan's been looking for since
Yeah,
the show started.
5
like,
episodes
who are these
later.
people?
Yeah, well-
I'm kind of digging how it's coming out. Honestly,
I don't
it's
know.
it
I
is a
think-
slow burn, and I get it's not in the vein of Supergirl and Legends and,
No,
the
no.
Flash.
No, right.
But I don't hate it, and I really like the music. Like whenever he starts kicking ass, like the music comes in. Last night it was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
James Brown at the end. and,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
As
There's
he's
a lot
getting
of moments where I'm
beaten
just there's a lot of moments that
I think it's not right. It's not on the level of Arrow, Flash, but
and I don't
I
think
don't-
it ever will be.
I don't hate it as much as Sonic does.
Okay,
but like
all right. Hate is a strong word. I dislike it.
well, give us your grievances. So you don't like the plot. You don't think there's enough of a story.
No, the only thing that's good about it is the acting. That's the
Yeah,
only
the
thing
acting
I
is
like.
good. The acting
Yeah.
is really
Yeah.
good, except for I don't like Alfred.
oh,
Yeah,
Gamby.
he's not believable.
He's just
Gamby,
kind
Peter,
of
is that his name?
Peter Gamby.
yeah, Peter. And Tobias has gotten better,
Better,
but
but still.
he started at the bottom of the barrel. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Can
just gotten
only
up
go up.
slightly. His sister's much more interesting to me than he is.
That was crazy. Okay, so let's get into
Let's
the
actually
episode.
recap the episode.
Yeah, let's
Yeah, let's figure.
So-
Let's go from start to finish,
So
like the opening
start.
scene.
So it starts out that Peter Gamby, the Alfred, makes some adjustments to Black Lightning's suit, so now he can fly,
Right.
literally like Iron Man.
Again, so stupid.
literally
It's exactly
just-
the arc reactor.
It's
yeah.
just like Iron
Yeah.
Man, except
like,
he
the-
actually has the lightning powers, and Iron Man's just the
Right.
suit, whatever. But it's
You see
literally
these, like,
just
neon,
like Iron Man.
They're-
neon, like
I
lightning.
feel like the
suit
writers are
flying around.
grabbing different superheroes and like putting
Just
them in
putting them
together into
together.
Black Lightning.
I wish I knew more about Black Lightning from the comics. I'm pretty
Yeah, I
Black
never-
Lightning stupid, so
Yeah, I am
maybe
too. I
this
never
is
really got
something
into
that's
it.
been
I-
around for a while. But the
Maybe,
first thought,
yeah.
I mean, you can compare all these superheroes, and there's a lot to be said. But it was pretty funny watching that first scene, and he's flying around.
And he's flying around.
There were
Flying
no
around.
there were no jetpacks in his feet, but that
Just
was
his
that was the
hands.
only difference.
Just the
Right.
hands.
That
Just
was
the
the only-
hands
yeah.
going.
Which would be much more difficult. I think would be
With
much
the
more
feet?
difficult. You would
With
need
the-
at least something to stabilize with your feet or
Yeah.
something. But
So
I just started laughing because I'm like, really? That's so Iron Man.
I
And you have the
literally-
Batman with the whole like vision and stuff like that. And I'm just like,
Oh,
what is
yeah.
going on? This is so
oh
dumb.
yeah,
But yeah.
So he's flying around.
I'm
he's-
liking it. I'm liking it.
he's,
The more you
of
talk about
course
it,
you
the
are.
more I
The
love
more,
it. Yeah.
so he's flying around and he's like, "Oh, I need more practice." So he's going after big, bad guys. And while he's doing that, Peter Gamby sees that someone enters the store, and it's Tobias and that girl that still hasn't said a word.
Yeah,
Literally,
I-
she's like
I
a
don't
non.
understand.
She's
So
a mute.
many-
This is another thing with the comic. Like, I was gonna. Well, you guys, I guess, haven't read them either. But like, is this girl in the comics? And if so, like, what did they do? Like, no.
I think she
doesn't
must
She just
read
has like a
anything?
speech bubble with nothing in it.
Yeah,
No,
that's
but
what I'm
this
saying. Like,
It's I mean, we were joking about it being Kingsman and being in the Kingsman
It
shop.
literally
This
is.
is the
Right.
girl. Like, I keep waiting for her legs to have razor blades because she actually has the same kind of look, the same
She
haircut.
really does, yeah.
You know,
Like
but
that stern look in her face, like she's gonna kill you, but she's like, I can't do anything until Tobias
yeah, I mean,
tells
it's
me.
How
to.
very-
funny is that though? Is that she's gotten paid probably a good amount because she's in the shows a lot for
Oh,
5
yeah.
episodes, and
Oh,
she
yeah.
hasn't said
One word.
She hasn't even showed any emotion, so the director doesn't even have to be
Wow.
like, "Hey, like."
Well, I mean, yeah, she kind of has, but
She's
if
stone
Black
cold
Lightning is
the whole
anything, it's a
time.
slow burn. I feel like her character will
Oh,
come
it'll
out.
develop.
And I don't hate the kind of silent.
Oh no, I don't either. I just think it's
character
funny that she
could be interesting, but we don't know.
So they're in the shop. So Peter
Yeah.
Gamby, rather than telling Black Lightning,
we're
which
just
I
gonna
don't,
call him Alfred. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But
I call
it's
him
just
Alfred too,
Al-
and it's interesting because you get the most in this scene we're talking about in the
Yes.
tailor shop. You get the most exposition that Black Lightning has done the entire
Yes.
show. In 5 minutes, you get almost the entire history of what's happened on Black Lightning, how Tobias knows to come to Alfred. at the tailor shop.
That was literally probably the only good scene in the entire
Well,
show.
I loved it because
It was
it's like
good.
I
It was
have a
good.
problem. I'm going directly to the one person I know who may have the solution to it. That kind of thing.
Well,
I
Technically,
love.
you're forbidden
So-
to go to.
Right, and I was like, "What's that about?" He's
But-
not allowed to go there, and then we get the download about him, about Tobias living forever.
Yeah, and having
So I don't-
this weird serum that
Yeah, so he has his
wasn't really explained.
this serum. He's not immortal, but he can't age. That's basically what
Yes.
it is.
Right.
I didn't understand how he knew to go to Peter Gamby's shop though. Did you get that, or is that?
Well, they have a
did I miss
history.
it?
I
Yeah,
feel
there's
like,
some
Right.
kind of-
Is that just a thing we don't know yet?
but
I'm
no,
guessing?
I don't think it's fully developed. But I
Okay.
think it's something that he's not allowed to go into that vicinity.
Yeah, there was some kind of agreement that
something.
existed.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what?
After
I
Black
bet
Lightning. He's like, "You're not even supposed to be here."
Right.
I bet
Yeah.
Peter Gamby made the serum for him, and he was just like, okay,
could
but
be an
that
option.
means- yeah, that means you don't come back here.
That could be the thing. Is they flash back to we see because Tobias has been alive so long. This is an interesting
Oh, yeah, his
twist
childhood.
that basically Black Lightning saw. Or Jefferson Pierce saw Tobias killed his dad when he was a little kid. So
Yeah.
if
Well, that was
Alfred
the
was doing
tra-
this stuff, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, well, that was
Yeah.
the trailer for the next episode. They see
Well, we'll-
even more.
It's canon now. You know.
Well,
and,
no, I know.
yeah.
I was going to get into that.
But I thought that was interesting because
Yeah.
I was thinking Tobias is, I don't
Just
know,
this
40 years
thug
old or
and-
something.
yeah.
But he's actually a lot older.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Vandal
crazy.
Savage type.
Vandal Savage.
Except he's not
Um,
immortal.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he must be like in
but
his
he's still so.
60s.
Yeah, he's older. The thing is, I guess his sister took the serum too because they look the same age to me.
Yeah.
His sister and him.
Oh yeah.
She
So-
probably
or maybe
is
maybe
older.
she just looks good. I don't know.
I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah, but that whole scene in the tailor shop. But I started laughing because I was like, oh, it's Kingsman all over.
Yeah, it is.
Well, another thing though, so Alfred sees that Tobias is coming into the shop, and he still, for some reason, doesn't want to tell Black Lightning.
Which-
in my head, Gamby's in danger here if Tobias is in his shop.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think Alfred can keep up his own,
Oh, and he did,
Uh-huh.
which
he
was
does.
good. He did,
and I
which
think
was cool.
he's not telling Black Lightning because it's
He would probably Black Lightning would
wants to
probably
be
go
safe.
crazy
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, you saw how he like went crazy at the end of the episode because
Yeah,
of that
the
one
whole
person.
headache
So
thing throughout the
Yeah,
episode
that's,
was interesting.
Yeah, he's having. I kind of have a. I'm thinking maybe he got. So what's going on is Black Lightning is having these migraines, these like electrical migraines.
and
and
then-
you see him when he's passed out. He's actually siphoning. He wakes up and he like siphons all the electricity
to like
Yeah.
to
jolt
wake him up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if that was like him doing his own, shock.
Shock
the
therapy
defibrillator,
there,
right?
yeah.
But then Gamby said like, "Oh, it's something with the suit modulator or whatever."
Yeah,
And
I think
was
it could
like,
be something
okay.
which seemed kind of odd that the suit was giving it to him.
Yeah.
My first thought was, oh, he's sick with the green light.
The
You know,
green light?
Oh yeah,
Which
crack,
does- it
crack
does-
cocaine had a
it's-
baby. Green light.
It's like
meth and what was it?
meth,
Yeah,
and
meth and
PCP.
PCP
yeah.
had a baby, and their distant cousin. Yeah.
I mean, that drug, the green light drug, is supposed to make you like really aggressive, which he was starting to get.
Right. Which
so it
which
could be.
is weird because Tobias is dealing that, and it seems to have some kind of superhero or some kind of superhuman
Yeah.
You
element
get
to it.
strength to it, yeah.
Which maybe Tobias has some of that, or maybe he's trying to get that. There's something building up with
well,
the
Tobias
With
green
the
has
drug,
been
yeah.
dealing it
Yeah.
with the 100 gang. That's what's been happening.
yeah.
And
Um,
his old partner that is now currently
Joey
alive.
Toledo.
Joey Toledo.
You think of that
Joey,
name, Chris?
I thought it was somebody you meet on the
Toledo.
street. Absolutely, It doesn't
Literally
sound-
thought he was gonna be a big black dude,
Like,
and he turns
yeah,
out
and
to be
he's
like
just
this
like
white.
He was this little Weasley dude.
Yeah.
He didn't even
I
look.
thought-
I remember seeing it, and I was like, "This guy. How old was this guy when Black Lightning was in his prime? 'Cause He looked like he'd be 12. Like he didn't look that old."
He
No.
wasn't like that big of a guy. He was just this scrawny little guy. Like, hey, I got you.
Yeah, and it's just this
It
little
was just
bit
weird.
of the plot force where he should have gotten his ass kicked. I mean, it
Yeah,
should have
and
been
then the
absolutely.
migraines
Oh
happened.
yeah, but it's those stupid
The
migraines. That he's
migraines.
gonna
Yeah, yeah.
I also
Uh,
laughed at the part where he like puts in a random chip in his arm to like.
yeah,
the
that's
modulator.
the
That's the
suit.
modulator.
I know,
Right.
but I was just like, really? It's a
and
freaking
I-
chip that
I
they
knew-
could go into
Right.
your
I
arm.
knew you
It's a
guys would love that
firmware
because
update.
literally he puts it up and then the lights just
And then the lights
ding,
flicker
It's like,
on.
wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
I
so
love how
it
that-
needs batteries.
This
So
little
that was
chip.
interesting. Yeah, they're setting something up with the suit, and there's something going on. I guess the show is such a slow burn that they're
Yeah.
putting little seeds in.
Which
And that's
is,
one of the things I've liked about it is there's a lot of little details I've noticed, but they haven't been addressed, and I feel like they're there for a reason.
But the thing
Yeah.
is like you're saying, the show is moving slow, which is like
Which
that's
it
good
is.
if it's a 23 episode show, but this season's only 13 episodes, and we're 5
Yeah.
episodes in. You know,
That's a decent point. I mean, we had hopes that Jill Scott was going to come in and take over for Tobias. I think this whole mini season is going to be Tobias centric for him as the
you
villain.
think so? You don't
Yeah.
think
I
Eve is
do.
gonna be?
His sister's there. Things are too set up. There's too much history with him and Alfred that I think there's going to.
She'll probably come in towards the very end of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might leave like a cliffhanger
Which,
or something.
Yeah.
I was really, I laugh with Black Lightning, but in a very, I laugh with them because I feel like there's
I
kind
laugh
of
at
there's some
them.
stuff going on. But when Tobias's sister was like, she went into like deep psychology with like the super ego and was like, we gotta defeat your first enemy, your
Oh,
father.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
And they go to commit like
crazy.
patricide, like at the
Yeah, that
Eugene,
was-
whatever this guy's name's.
I feel like it
Eldridge.
was like a random
Eldridge.
Eldridge.
Yeah.
random scene just dropped into the
That was
episode. I was like, okay.
It was really weird.
What
and
was
it-
that supposed to? Like that was there for a reason. Like, what was that supposed to show
Well,
us?
it's a flashback.
How awful that. Well, no.
Well,
But
no,
then
when they actually go
after
see him
the
when he's
Oh,
guy.
old.
yeah. Which had no
So, like,
real
it's-
purpose.
But it's like his
Is
sister
that-
said, it's so he can get over. She's like, when you finish with this, you'll be a different man. And I was like, wow, like she must be pretty into psychology because this is kind of a weird.
Yeah, we don't know
twist.
her job in Miami. We don't
Well,
know what
it's,
she
it's
really
just
does.
an odd approach that you'd be
It
like,
was.
oh, like we're gonna go kill our father,
I
so
feel like that
you can
was
get
just-
over that original trauma, and then you'll be primed to
Which I think is
take
so
over.
stupid.
I feel like
It
that
was
scene
weird.
in
It was
that
weird.
whole
I can't defend it.
story there was honestly just to show us how awful him and his sister are.
But it was also an
Right. I mean-
unnecessary scene that you really didn't need in
That's
there.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why the only thing I can say is like that it was is to show us how bad they are, which we
Like,
knew.
or how they
but-
grew up.
Right,
Like,
and to give you some sympathy for them too. Like the dad's telling
'Cause they
Tobias,
got-
like you're not
right.
even black, you're not white, you're an albino, you're nothing, and all this kind of stuff. Which I guess he doesn't know biology very well. I mean,
yeah.
but anyways, it's just.
It was just
I think it's to make you feel a little bit, pull at your heartstrings a little bit
Yeah.
for Tobias.
nah.
Yeah,
Didn't
I
do
know.
anything for me.
I can't
mean,
argue. I also love the what was his name? I keep saying Eugene.
Eldridge.
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 The beard. Is that what? You're saying?
Yeah, the beard, the makeup they put on him, the old makeup.
Oh, it's,
CW does a good job with makeup and
They
stuff like
do,
that.
yeah.
It's not the best, but C and Eldridge, they've had better days. That one was a little bit goofy.
yeah, no kidding. But he was only in the scene for like half a second
I know.
anyway,
He's-
so it didn't
he's-
matter.
He's like, I cracked your back. Now, I mean,
Now
another
you're gonna watch you
he
die
broke
slowly.
his back. That
Yeah.
was like.
another Batman. I mean, like the show is layering up all these Batman things. Like he breaks the bat. He breaks his
He
back
breaks
and
the
leaves
bat.
him there, and he's like, "You're gonna die slowly." It's entertaining.
So,
Speaking of Batman, that
go
whole
ahead.
quote with the
Go
like
ahead.
the whole Batman like
That's
sign.
hilarious.
You thought it was funny, but I'm sitting there watching it. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
So,
This is so dumb.
That was
to talk about what actually happened.
Yes.
The actual scene.
I don't.
I want
he
to hear
was-
it from
he
somebody
goes-
that hates it.
Well, he was, I don't hate it. It's a dislike.
No, yeah,
Hate's
sure,
a strong
sure.
word. I said.
It's with the detective. He
yeah,
goes to
he's
the
like in the
detective.
bushes or something like
No, he's in
talking.
the parking lot. Oh yeah, yeah.
No,
yeah.
he
doesn't even bother to put
The
his Black
detective's
Lightning
in-
doesn't even
Oh
put
yeah,
his mask
No,
on.
he
or
doesn't.
anything.
He's
he
just
was
as
like
Jefferson.
behind. He was like behind a fence, and I was like,
Yeah.
you're not."
Or like the
really,
hotel fence
a
or
really
something.
dark, shady,
Yeah.
opaque fence that you can't see through.
Right.
When he does his Black
And
Lightning
I love
voice
how the captain is just like doesn't creep forward to see who it is.
Right.
Why
It's
would
like
you?
it's
Yeah.
CW thing.
It's like,
but it's like
Home Improvement. You see that show with the neighbor with the fence?
Oh, Wilson, right?
Yeah, Wilson.
Yeah.
That's
oh,
what it was.
you never see his mouth.
All right, so yes, so
Well, yeah.
he's behind
Basically,
the fence.
Black Lightning's like, hey, here, look in your car. There's a burner phone.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm old
And
school.
Yeah.
yeah, but we were talking about the Batman.
And he's-
like,
yeah,
let's call it the black signal.
Well, let's call it the black signal. And I'm like, oh my god, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That you really thought that was dumb? I thought
I
that was
thought-
hilarious.
I
So
thought that was
cheesy.
funny.
I mean,
I
it
thought
was
that
cheesy.
was really funny.
Here's the thing: CW in all these shows, especially Arrow too, they do these little. And Supergirl actually had one too.
Quirky.
These little quirky like references to Batman, and I always
Yeah.
love them. Like Supergirl,
Well, no,
they had one.
some of them are good.
Oh, some of them are great.
This was to me. This was the best. I honestly thought it was hilarious. I
It
thought
was
it was
pretty
really
great.
funny.
Supergirl had one too, where like she saves this family from getting hit by like a bunch of rocks or whatever, and then the father's like, "We're moving back to Gotham."
Oh right, I remember that. Yeah, yeah. We
But
lost.
this one was the blacks.
I don't know. It was just weird.
Well, it's
maybe
fine.
because I was just not into it. That I was like, this is
Right. I think
Super
you're
cheesy.
already so cynical about the show that
Yeah.
I just
The
love
best
how much
line-
you don't like it, and I love how much Chris does like it. It's the
I just
best
thought it was
contrast.
funny. Like
contrast.
I get Sonig's really very right about Black Lightning. It doesn't have a plot that kind of pulls you in. It doesn't have all these kind of elements,
Right.
but the acting is so good and
Yeah.
everything feels very natural, especially with Jefferson's daughters. Like
Yeah, the daughters are good.
Maybe the one daughter. The other daughter's a little
Which
up
daughter?
there.
I
Which
like them
daughter?
both. I
The
mean,
one that's like super like
Anissa.
Oh,
Yeah.
Anissa.
Anissa.
yeah.
Well,
Who
the other
was-
daughter's gonna get powers
Of
too.
course she is.
Yeah, that was
Spoiler
annoying.
alert, but not really, because
She's at the bowling alley in. Oh my god.
Yes, let's talk about that.
That was a great
So,
scene though. That was a
Well,
pretty
She's
good
at the
scene.
bowling alley, and two girls try to gang up on her, and then she breaks one of the girls' wrists.
But the girl deserves. She's like,
She
oh,
deserved
by
it.
the way, like Khalil, how's your crippled boyfriend? Or
Yeah,
whatever.
that
I
was-
Like, what
I probably would have done
hell?
the same thing. I
Well,
would
no,
have.
that's the thing
That's
is that they
insane.
attacked her too.
Right,
Yeah.
Like
right.
they started going after her and punching her, and then the best is when they she ends up talking to Jefferson, Black Lightning, and she's like, "Yeah, the two girls tried to gang up on me," and
and
Jefferson's
he was like, two girls.
"Two girls?"
Yeah,
and he
he
was
was
like
impressed.
impressed.
Like, impressed,
I was
yeah.
like, "That's awesome."
Yeah.
He was so impressed by her.
No, but that whole like roller skating scene was great. It's like she's trying to put on her skates. She's trying to have like
Yeah.
a normal day with her
Seriously,
friend.
Right, right.
And then all of a sudden,
Little-
these two like bitchy girls come
Bitches,
up to
yeah.
her.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! I thought, honestly, when that girl said
That was
like,
that's
your
realistic.
crippled boyfriend, I was
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
that was. I was
Jesus,
like, yeah, that's what I said too. I was like,
Yeah.
"What are you doing?"
I've had enough. I've had enough of that girl already. And she's like her track rival. I guess she outran
Yeah,
Yeah.
her
she
on the
outran
Right,
her.
right.
Yeah,
on the 400. You know how
It's like get over
it
it.
gets right.
cutthroat it gets on the.
I
on the
do
clay.
know that actually.
Hey, I ran the
You're
4x4.
elbowing people on the track.
That's right. You pass the baton and things happen.
So yeah, that was good. I liked that Jefferson was impressed, and he
trying
did-
to hold it together.
Yeah, he didn't want to like punish her daughter,
Uh-huh.
but like the mother was like, "No, violence isn't the answer." But he was
Right,
like, "It's okay."
The mom and the family comes over to complain, and
Yeah.
they butter him up in no time.
I know, right?
Yeah, no time. And
They
they're
left all
laughing.
giggly and happy and
Yeah.
everything, and I was like, really? That never happens
Well,
in real life.
then Jen walks in, and they're like, "Oh,"
Yeah, and they all.
and they
yeah.
fall silent. It's
They're
like,
like,
"Oh,
we're
okay."
gonna leave now.
Oh,
Bye.
Jen's got so much attitude. Like she's definitely my
great.
least favorite. Oh, you're kidding me. She's my she's definitely my least favorite on the show.
She's
But of course
great.
you love her.
She's great because she's got attitude and spunk.
I
And I
like-
like that.
Well, I like Anissa because she has that, but she also has a brain. Like she seems smart.
she has a brain.
No, not that the other girl
Well,
doesn't.
I
But,
mean, Jen's. I
Well,
mean,
you're
she's in
also talking
school.
high school versus
that's right.
like
That's true.
out of college.
That's true.
You know what I don't understand though? Anissa is a teacher, right?
Yes.
But why
Yes.
does she keep on talking about like doing a project for school?
I think she's also taking classes.
Yeah, I think she's.
Okay.
I think she's.
I got a little confused on that.
Yeah, like in graduate
Or it
for
could be a
education.
project for her students that
Yeah,
she's doing
okay.
research for. I don't.
Right.
It could be anything.
She could be beading. She could be doing a lot of things.
She could be beating.
What is that? What do you mean?
You guys
by
don't bead?
No.
bead?
You take beads, put them on a string. I've seen it.
Oh, I thought you said beating, and I was like, what?
No,
is
she's
that?
beating too.
She's-
But, yeah. Which we should talk about Anissa, and
That
she's
whole part.
basically
Yeah.
Yeah.
building up to her costume,
Right.
which looking through her. Actually, I thought was really funny.
Well,
She's
no.
look-
Before that, let's talk because she tries to research about how she got
Well,
these powers.
first
Right.
she's on the computer looking
Right,
up
and
something
how
on
she goes-
YouTube.
yeah, and
Yeah,
this is a
she-
big hint about how
They're not
Pierce-
on the
Oh,
same Earth
okay.
too. Because if you were wondering on how you got these powers and you were in the Flash Earth, it would be like, okay, well, you're in the
Particle
same Earth.
accelerator.
Particle accelerator.
Right.
Right. So she's definitely on, and she's looking at this YouTube video and it's talking about how I wrote this down. 9 enhanced teens disappeared after
Right.
this
Mysteriously, yeah.
experiment, and Alvin, her grandfather, Jefferson's father, was killed a week later after deciding not to publish the story.
Murdered.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and then she ends up going to the office with that guy.
The Gazette
and
or
the
the Beat
Gazette,
or
yeah,
something.
something like that.
Something like that.
And gives him a box. The box has the key to that storage room, and then before that, she goes and gets the costume. And stuff.
Right. It's good you mentioned the video that she's watching too, because they talk about the Tuskegee Airmen and like they were doing the government was doing experiments. And
I'm actually very surprised that she didn't track down the guy in the YouTube video.
I think he's coming.
Yeah.
That's what
I
I think
mean,
because they mentioned his
Because
name.
they mentioned his name, but I was surprised that she like
okay.
didn't research more about him first before she went to the Gazette.
Right.
But
at first
then
I thought she was just looking at some dumb video and they were going to kind of make fun of it. But then I
Yeah,
was
that's
like,
what
oh,
I
this
thought
is
too.
like,
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be
real-
some weird like conspiracy, like they're out there, or
Right,
something.
it looked like an InfoWars
Right,
site
yeah,
or something.
like-
Yeah. But there was basically Anissa goes to the storage unit, her grandfather's storage unit, which is really decent of him to keep paying the bill on that unit.
I
That
know.
was the guy who had
we
great,
always go
great
back to the
foresight.
money
The logic.
issue.
40
Chris,
years ago, 30 years
we don't
ago,
like
he's
to
like,
get
I'm
into the
putting
logic.
down a 30-year deposit.
But can we just talk
the
about that
costume.
whole costume scene?
Costume scene.
I couldn't stop laughing.
Which one?
All of
At
it.
what time?
When
Wait, is
she's
it
like
when
trying to
she-
fight in her Catwoman
And, her,
costume, and
and
it's
she goes,
and it
"My
drips.
butt's too big,"
Yeah.
and I was just like,
She
I thought it was
literally
fun-
says,
and she's
guys, she literally says, all this ass. I need to find something that fits.
That's
And
right.
I was like, oh my God.
But it
I
was
was not
funny,
expecting that to be
And
said,
she's looking
honestly.
through her closet for things, and she's like, "Wait, where's my?" It's like, "Jen, did you take my jacket?" I thought that was funny
Her
too.
black
'Cause, like,
hoodie.
they're-
I got
yeah,
my
yeah.
own hoodies.
That was
She's-
funny, and then the only part that was weird for me is she goes to the store and like has this instant bond.
right.
with
That's what I was
the-
gonna say.
The
Like,
teller
I was
who
thinking
is
that
helping
too.
her.
first of all, is she at a lingerie store or is she at like a costume
yeah,
store?
I think it's at like
I think it's both. I think it's like for
I think it's
people
a-
that wear costumes,
adults
that,
only?
that want
right
to
a
get
kinky
freaky.
play
yeah.
store. Yeah, yeah.
You know
oh,
what I
like the cosplay
And
people
so-
go.
See, that's what I think it is. It's some type of cosplay. Because when he leaves, it's like, all right, you're gonna be the best looking superhero out there. I was like, wait, you don't?
Yeah, quite
know.
Wait,
literally.
yeah, literally.
Yeah. I
Like,
was
don't look in the I mean, this guy knows everything about her.
Right.
Easily.
Well,
Even has
except
her credit
it's-
card info.
but it has her fake name.
Oh,
Remember, she
oh,
like
she
drops
used
a fake name.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
re- I didn't notice that.
Monica.
Monica.
Oh
That's
man.
right.
Pay
No,
I have
attention,
so many.
Chris.
I have so many
It's not-
problems with names because they call her Harriet Tubman in the first episode, and I kept writing down Harriet. Oh man.
Yeah, so she uses Monica to like
Yeah.
talk to the
To
guy
talk
and
to the
get
guy.
dressed and
get
whatnot.
best friends.
best friends forever.
Yeah, in like the 2
Watch him-
seconds that she's been there.
He's gonna
Watch him be like the
He's
suit
gonna
guru.
be.
Right?
He's gonna be the Peter Gamby for her. Guaranteed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he'll be
That's,
like
that's what's gonna happen.
She'll come back in. She'll be like, "Can you sew this up for me?"
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, he'll be like Cisco, and it's like anytime you need anything.
Yeah.
He'll be like,
We'll
oh,
just-
by the way, Cisco made you like 6 new suits, and this one you fly, and whatever.
Cisco's
but
always making suits.
we'll see if they end up being in the same universe. But what were you saying?
I
go
thought.
ahead.
Oh, sorry. I thought she was gonna have some sort of a mask and not a wig.
I know it's
Yeah,
like
she had a
little.
wig and it's like
But it's like you still look the
blondish, or-
same. We
Well,
still
the wig, and she just put a little bit
She-
of
it's,
sparkler
Yeah.
on her,
like,
eyes.
face.
like gold. Like
Yeah.
it was like.
Well,
I
a
it's
mean,
all
you could
leading
tell it
up-
was her
It's
easily.
all leading up to her actual suit, which
Right.
if you guys seen online, it shows her suit like in the it's.
I
Her
mean-
superhero name's Thunder, and the other daughter is
Thunder.
Lightning. Again, spoiler,
Oh,
not
okay.
really, but
I mean, I
yeah,
didn't
it's
know
like
that.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean that makes sense.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, and
I mean, I didn't hate her suit. Okay, like when she was in her suit, she looked good in her suit. All right, like when
Yeah.
I was watching it, I was like,
Oh no, she looked good.
I was like, if you're gonna wear a suit, that's not the. I enjoyed the suit.
it was like Star Spangled Banner. Like,
But you know
kind of.
It
what's
was a little
funny?
bit. I kept
Yeah.
thinking of like Miss Marvel. Or kind of had
Miss
like a
Marvel.
different look. I mean, obviously.
Well, you know what's funny,
wrong,
though?
comics,
but like she put on this suit, she went through all this trouble, but like she didn't really.
She didn't use it.
need it. Yeah.
Nah,
she
well,
didn't-
because of the
she-
cameras, right? I imagine there's cameras at the storage facility.
Yeah, but
Isn't that more revealing than like
yeah,
going
it's
in
like
with a
why
hoodie?
don't we look at this girl in the
Well, yeah.
bright
No, I mean, in
orange
case she gets caught or something.
so-
And I mean,
so stupid.
I can't defend
storage
the whole
locker.
thing, but
So she gets into the storage locker.
storage locker and
Well, she breathes
she
first.
breathes. I would say she takes
Oh
a
my
deep
God,
breath.
Chris.
She
No,
takes
but
it.
that is
That is literally the power, Chris.
we've made fun of it, but it is.
I
It's
know.
her power.
It is her power.
How funny is that? We literally, it's the breathing, and now it's literally she can't get the safe open.
can't do it
and then
without
she's
being like,
she's like, hold on, and then she's super strength.
can't,
I don't understand. I like.
But I mean, maybe
Here we go. Here comes the theory.
it's related to her oxygen intake. Is how she can. I mean, is that so ridiculous? I think that's something. What's going on?
I
I
think-
can't explain it. I don't know.
I mean,
but-
it's a ridiculous thing to have, but at
I
the
just
same time,
can't
when she's
believe-
doing it, she's like, and breathe.
It's so
I know,
funny
I
because
know. Well, they have to make it obvious for the people.
well, yeah, but it's just
right.
it's
I
funny.
Like
think
when a
it's
guy's
just-
like, "You're albino." By the way, you're albino. Like, I want to tell you that guy's albino. It's like, yeah,
We-
that's
we-
just
we
there
put
for
two and
people
two
that
together.
don't get
It's-
that he's albino.
It's just so funny because I think it was like the second episode where like, oh yeah, it's all the breathing. And
Yeah.
we made fun of it, and now it's like that's actually it. Because
Yeah.
And I was
they
in-
do the sound effect. It's like, oh, now she has.
Well,
super
see, I was
strength,
glad
like-
she said that because I was in so much suspense in the scene. I forgot to breathe. Like I was watching it so intently. So when
forgot
she
to
said that, I actually
breathe.
took a
You
breath.
forgot
I
to
was like,
breathe.
oh my god. But yeah, so she finds some powder.
Yeah.
You know, little burger
the
sugar. We
safe.
don't know exactly what that is.
Oh yeah, is that what she found?
Yeah,
It was
Yeah, some
I would
sort of
imagine it's
powder.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's probably
green light?
Yeah, green
Probably
light.
green light.
It's some kind of precursor to it, or something that's going to maybe
Yeah.
offset or give her sister
Right.
some extra
but they don't.
powers or
Right.
something.
They don't keep going with.
No, they
that
kind of just
story.
end it.
Is that like
end
the
it
last
there.
thing that
Yeah.
she does? Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. That's it.
yeah.
Because
And
the
then the-
costume's the big reveal. And
The
then-
guy at the
Right.
Gazette that gives her the box, he says he made this a big deal. Like he said it like twice. He's like, they're watching still, and she's
Yeah.
like, what?
That's right.
Yeah,
So
and
I don't
that's
know
like
who they
another plot
are.
twist
Yeah.
of what's gonna
I don't know
happen
who they are,
soon.
but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're not paranoid if they are watching.
If they
Yeah.
are watching. So there wasn't really, and this was, I wrote this down. There was an abrupt ending.
It was pretty
It
abrupt.
was abrupt.
Yeah.
It was like almost rushed.
Sonic was like, yes!
I was like, oh, it's
Thought there were
finally
30
over.
minutes left, and you're like,
So-
oh.
Black
No.
Lightning tracks down where Joey Toledo is. He gets him. He starts beating him up, whatever, and then he gets his migraines.
But gets warned, like,
Oh yeah,
from Alfred,
Alfred.
saying, like,
He's
you
like, dude,
definitely
don't
should not
do
go
it.
out there because it's your costume
And then
or
he
your
threatens
suit.
Alfred too, which was like
So
come on.
dumb.
Well,
Come on,
that's
man.
just.
I get it. He's on an anger kick and he
I
like
know.
wants to kill the guy and whatever. But
So then he gets the migraines. He can't move, and then Toledo just kicks him a lot, and then that's how the show ends. There's like nothing.
there's nothing
I
else.
thought there was gonna be something, and then it ended.
No, Black Lightning's on the street. That's what the theme
On the
song
street.
says.
He's
Yeah,
back.
He's in a puddle, and they
And
show
the-
the club dancing in the background, and the. But I
Yeah,
love that
the
little
disco
fight scene.
lights in the back.
Yeah, that was good because they actually had some real extras dancing. I
Yeah.
noticed that detail. Good job, CW.
Good job.
Good job.
But
Steve.
also they were fighting out the James Brown. I mentioned that, but that was
Yeah.
just great. Like I love
Yeah.
James Brown, and like the whole fight scene. It shouldn't have been a fight at all. I mean, he's Black Lightning versus some like little skinny dude.
yeah,
Skinny white dude.
I don't know
But-
why he didn't just take him. Not take him, but you know what I mean. Like bring him back to the tailor shop.
'Cause I don't
Question
think
him.
he cared.
Yeah, I think he's just
Honestly,
trying.
I
He
think
wanted
all
to
he,
take
all
him
he does is
down, like-
interrogate people. Like he
I think
interrogated
he just
that-
wanted literally to beat the shit out of him and be like, "See, now I got you. Bye."
Yeah, I
right.
guess.
Well, I
and
guess
with
in
Toledo,
yeah, there's a
with
vendetta.
right,
Yeah.
with Toledo back because he was Tobias's right hand man.
Right.
Jefferson thinks that means Tobias is still out there, which
Which
Gambi-
I don't know how
Gambi
you haven't
knows.
put two and two
Right,
together.
I
yet.
know.
Gambi knows, and
Yeah.
I don't
Also, Tobias, just real quick, Tobias got threatened by Jill Scott off camera when
Lady
she's
Eve.
know.
Lady Eve.
yeah.
Yeah, she's
That
always
was,
Jill to me, but
Well, with
she
the
sent-
bones
she
and
sent
the.
crushed
Yeah.
bones.
That was
Yeah, I wonder if
pretty-
she actually found an albino and crushed his bones, or if that was just
like,
standard bones.
just-
Yeah,
or sugar.
It's
or
intended
something.
She
to be
strikes
the
me as-
albinos.
she strikes me as someone that would go find a real albino. But
Yeah,
that's,
she would.
That's crazy.
You know.
But
Well,
that's,
that's the thing. She's crazy. That's why I thought she would be the main villain. And
she is the main villain.
She will be, but I think
Yeah.
they're counting. For me, I think they're counting on a season 2. I think this first season's setting up
It's
as
just-
Tobias.
right.
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 Kinda
And
what-
then there'll be
yeah.
more of a backstory on her, on him.
Right.
But no, but she was like, "Do not f with me."
Yeah.
Mhm.
With that envelope, I was
Yeah.
just like, "Damn."
But yeah, so the trailer for not next week, the week after, is you find out that Tobias is the one that actually killed Black Lightning's dad.
When he was a kid.
when
When
he
he
was
was
a
a
kid,
kid,
and he
right.
was he looks the same as he does now, so
Right.
the
Yeah.
aging thing.
Yeah, he has some
So it-
anti-aging
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
so I don't know
Lazarus Pit magic.
So, seriously, but like you know how you need to know how to get in how he got that. Like we still don't know how
That's going to be. I think that's going to be the whole focus
whole-
of the season.
yeah.
Honestly, I think
how he got the
green
serum
light,
and
how he got his longevity. I think
Yeah.
all that's
Yeah,
going to
the
tie
whole
together.
serum, the
I think you're
whole-
going to get tons
the
of that.
origin of Black Lightning still
Yep.
not.
Well, I think it's related to those experiments.
It's
I think
it's
that's
related to the
definitely coming
Yeah,
to that.
for
experiments.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but well, so the 9 enhanced teens. This is something I was wondering. So she's Anissa's looking into it as in like, oh, what if I'm one of those teens? But I feel like the teen would have been Jefferson, right?
Back then.
Yeah,
that
because
make
it was
sense?
too long ago.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I
So
agree.
she's gonna find
She
out
may
it's
have it
Jefferson,
genetically,
and then
but-
it's genetic. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
That's what it is.
Right.
And being
So-
experimented on or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the dark side.
Yeah. The power of breath.
I wish I could
Imagine
breathe.
if that's how you could get superpowers. You just breathe a certain way.
Well, then everyone who does yoga is gonna destroy us.
destroy us.
All right, so that's Black Lightning.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about everything
We got some
that
love
happened
from
in that
Chris.
we have
episode.
some
Hate
love. We have
from,
some dislike.
It's
dislike
well
from
done.
Sony.
I can't say it's
I
not
think-
well done.
Me and
I get not being into it, but I think
I think it's
I
gotten
actually
better.
really appreciate the acting on the show.
I think it's actually gotten better.
I mean, to
from when it
each
started.
their own, I guess.
Yeah.
People like it. People don't like it.
Yeah.
People are.
I think it's good that we disagree. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's great.
Just like Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
We'll get to that
Take
later.
my ball and go home.
All right. Legends. Let's get into this. This is going to...
So glad Legends is back.
Oh my God! What a great episode. Oh, I was so excited.
Excited?
So,
I was.
do you either of you want to kind of just say what's going on in the season before we get to the episode?
Recap from last, whenever it was on.
What's the? I
Couple
mean,
months ago.
basically, it's
Basically...
Mollis and,
Mollis.
and Damien Dark being reincarnated with his daughter.
His daughter
who
Nora.
I love.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the big bad this season,
Yeah.
and frankly, it's really well done. And
I
we
love
have-
Damien Dark though.
Oh, Damien Dark's great.
He's
I would
great.
love to see
I
Eobard
kinda
Dawn
don't.
come back somehow.
Oh, I
I
know.
don't like Damien Dark.
You don't like
That's just
Damien
me.
Dark?
He's a good villain.
I don't
He's just
really...
smarmy. It's kind of funny.
I
Yeah.
kind of think it's annoying that, like, you know, season 4 of Arrow, you know, he died and then he came back for second
Yeah,
season.
but we're in Legends here, where it's a time travel.
Right, I understand that, and I was fine with him coming back in season 2 of
I
Legends.
get what you mean.
But like, then they reincarnated him for. You couldn't find anyone else to do a reincarnation of, you know?
Well, I think in a way,
He
it's
has a
you,
backstory.
you go with what
Yeah.
works, and I think they know that he works really well. Like I said, I love the Legion of Doom from last
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
That
But
may
wouldn't
be my
you-
favorite.
Wouldn't
season.
you have rather have reincarnated Thawne though?
Yeah, Thawne's. I think Thawne's my favorite bad guy of any of the shows.
Right.
Probably,
I
yeah.
love the Reverse Flash. They never call him the. I don't get why nobody calls him
Right.
the Reverse Flash.
I know.
I don't get.
It was like in the first season they did a few
Yeah.
times of
yeah,
Flash.
Yeah, some may say I'm the Reverse. You only get little
Yeah.
differences
Yeah,
to
you
it.
only get it a couple times, and then it goes
Yeah.
back to his real name.
But essentially, we're dealing with something that I think the Legends are unprepared for, which is why Constantine is there in
Who I
Mollis.
freaking love.
Right.
That was funny.
Love
we were
him.
just saying to recap what the season is. It's
Yeah.
basically the fight against Mollis, who is
Right.
a magical being who
Demon.
From
And-
another dimension.
Right.
that's
He is a
possessing.
demon. Yeah.
Right, and
They
then
get into
sexy Constantine
that.
shows up.
He's just
So
fabulous.
before we get
Yeah.
into this episode,
Fabulous.
the overall thing. I don't I don't like scary movies. I don't know about you guys. This shit was freaky. This episode, the amount of exorcism scenes. and I
Oh,
was
see, I'm
like,
used to that
Oh,
stuff.
I was
yeah.
like, oh my god.
I like that stuff.
It starts off.
Dan,
with
just
it,
think of it as pulleys.
Holy.
with it,
Pulleys,
how
like
they're-
when how they're like
right.
you pull
How
them
they're
and they go
having
in
the
one way to
exorcism
the
and it's,
other.
like bending
Oh
all
yeah.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how they do it.
Oh.
Well, I always think like they're gonna break their necks and stuff when they do these scenes. But
Oh, they had a great one with Dark's daughter and then Jitters, where she's banging her head
Oh my
against
God.
the table.
oh my
that was,
god,
that was
dude! No,
That was
genuinely freaky.
that
crazy.
freaked me
Right,
out.
it was
when she
literally
kept
The Exorcist.
Yeah.
banging her head on the. Oh,
You know, we're getting
that's
ahead of
too much.
ourselves, and we should actually talk. Like, so
Starts out with
the actual plot of
Constantine.
the episode. Yeah.
So it starts out with Constantine.
Going into a mental, like he comes out of his car and goes into this mental institute.
So if you don't remember, so Legends ended in December. It ended off with Constantine going to Sarah and be like, "There's a demon, and she's calling your name."
Right.
Blah blah blah.
Like
So it
he-
flashes
yeah.
back. So it flashes back to 2017, whatever, and she goes into there, and then it shows her saying Sarah's name as he performs the exorcism, which, and
But that's like his forte. That's what he
oh,
does for
I
a
know,
living.
I know, and then
If you guys ever watched Constantine when it was on the CW,
I watched a couple episodes.
NBC
I did.
it was on.
I didn't love it.
I thought it was NBC.
was it NBC?
I think
Yeah,
it was
I'm
NBC too, actually.
I think it was
yeah.
NBC.
Oh well.
Anyways.
Anyway, they're bringing it back, so I'm really excited.
Right.
But anyway, we'll
Are they
get to that
bringing it
later.
back to? I thought it was the CW Seed, right?
No, but
the
now they're
animated?
actually bringing it back.
Oh,
I'm so excited.
really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
yeah. Spoiler alert.
So
So yeah, he does his exorcism that actually doesn't work
Mm-hmm.
because Mollis is so strong.
Yeah, that was cool. He steps out of the little circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was before. This was something different when she was on the bed and she was like, "Oh, you can't
was
break
that?
me."
yeah. And then
Oh,
she,
yeah. Well, anyway,
she says
she
like
resists the
Sarah
whole thing.
Lance, and
Yeah.
then she.
Yeah,
he goes
yeah,
to
so-
see
Who
Sarah.
whose voice? I'm such a Fringe fan, but Walter Bishop, obviously.
That's his voice.
So-
That's yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I
Mollis's
love
voice?
him.
There's Mollis's voice. Yeah, you
Oh,
can
wow.
hear
I
him.
love
Yeah.
him.
He also
Yeah.
did the Scarecrow in the Batman games and
Yes,
stuff. So
yes.
Yes,
he's
yeah.
really good.
I play all the Batman games.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So basically,
so-
he gets warned that
Sounds
Sarah Lance is on Mollis's list, and
right. So he goes and tracks the ship down
Mhm.
and
which
gets
is quite a
on.
feat. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
Well,
easily
she even
found
said it. She's like, "How did you find me?
Right.
Like what?"
Well, he's mystic. That's why I like the magical stuff.
Yeah,
Because it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's all mystic, and in a
Yeah.
way, it's like it does kind of make sense because
Yeah.
if anybody's going to do it, he's maybe one of the few people that could.
Right. But like he gets on the ship and he's just like, you know, Mollis is after you, and she's like, no, like I'll be fine. I'm an assassin.
Sarah's so overconfident in this episode, especially the ending, which
Yeah.
we'll get to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, then they they go back to the hospital, right? And then she dresses up.
Yeah, but
It's
before that, we have to talk about how what's his name is watching football the entire time.
Oh yeah, Mick. Yeah, Mick.
Hey, he showed some leader elements in this episode.
Because he was
He had
Because
to
he
because he
wanted
was getting so annoyed that he was just like, you do this, you do that. Just leave me the F alone.
Right.
Like,
The whole
wanted to
episode,
show-
everything he was doing in the episode was a response to him just trying to watch the
Watch
game.
the game.
And I thought that was pretty funny when they're like calling for backup and he's like, defense. You know, he's like
Yeah.
talking about the game.
It's like, yeah,
and-
we're
Yeah.
hoping you can
that-
help
it was
us.
so
Yeah.
funny. He is definitely the comic relief in the
Oh,
entire
no
show.
doubt. No doubt.
Oh yeah, you
But
can
he
also
was
think
like
it's-
glued to the TV the entire
Yeah.
time, and I was just like, I freaking love you.
Yeah, that was funny. I
Yeah.
think he's a lot better without Snart too. Like the Snart stuff is fun to have around, but for me, Snart's a one trick pony. Like
Yeah.
giving
I
the
liked
same
Snart in
performance
the-
in every situation. Like okay, so
Him and Snart in the first season, I thought were
they were great.
Great, honestly.
yeah, I didn't. Love
I
it.
even like Leo there too. Leo with Mick.
Well, yeah, I mean when I
is
say
good,
when I
but-
say Snart, I mean every
You mean
iteration.
Leo.
Yeah.
Whatever variation comes
Whatever.
Yeah,
in.
exactly.
Yeah.
That was funny. But anyway, so they go to pull the demon out of this
Yeah.
possessed girl.
Yeah, so
This is
they
in
all
tr-
go back to the hospital in 2017.
in 2017. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All
And-
dressed up in nurse outfits,
Yeah,
which is
and
like
it's Sarah. Okay, actually no, all of them go.
all of them go.
All of them go, and they try to bring the demon out, but then she summons that weird symbol, and Sarah.
Right, like a little time jump.
Yeah, Sarah, Constantine, and Leo. I made sure I wrote this down. Get sent back to 1969.
Right.
Right.
It's
But
true.
Constantine draws this like very elaborate thing on the floor,
Oh yeah.
which literally took what 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
well,
okay.
Sarah's too took she did it in no time. Like when she gets possessed and everything, it's all those things get drawn pretty quickly. But
Yeah.
anyways, they get sent back in time because Moss is like, I'm not having it. Like
Right.
you don't
Yeah,
realize
he's
how
like,
powerful
we're gonna
I
send
am.
you back. So they go back to 1969, which I thought was
1969.
pretty cool.
Also, Constantine's looking for a lighter the whole episode.
Oh.
Poor guy.
I mean, typical Brit. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Well, I was glad he got the light up in the end, but yeah, they
He's just
purposely
like,
don't
yeah.
put that in there for a
She's
lot
like,
of
I
reasons.
need a lighter.
But also that they're dealing with basically Nurse Ratchet. The episode had a lot of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest
Yep.
references,
Yep.
you know, including the music. They were playing a lot of the same music, like variations of it.
Yeah.
But Nurse Ratchet, who you think is just kind of a side character, you know, just like
Yeah,
this
you
like
find out at the
bitchy nurse, is actually really in league with Damien Dark. and
Yeah, well,
she's
Yeah, you find out at the very
forefront of
end.
a
She
lot
was
of
there
this
in
stuff.
'69, and then she
Right,
goes
she's
back
been around
and
for a
she's
while,
there,
yeah.
I love Sarah's comment, like, "Oh, you haven't aged well."
yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun.
So they're in
That's it.
1969. They're trying to like figure out how to get out or whatever, and then Leo goes off.
Leo, well, there's a painting in the room,
Yes.
like a Christian. I forgot what it was, like a woman.
I think it was
Mary,
Mary,
wasn't it?
Mary
Or was it Mary holding
Jesus,
yeah,
baby
something like
Jesus.
that.
Mary, the Mother of God. Have you heard of that?
I don't know. Can you enlighten me on that? Get
Enlighten.
that?
She's very
enlighten,
demure.
enlighten me. No, so that picture is actually in both
Yeah.
times.
So he wanted to write
Right.
a note. He wanted to write a note, but before that, didn't Constantine send Leo to get some materials so he could do a spell, and then he's like, "Also, get me a light."
Right,
and-
right, right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So when he does that,
But
he
he
comes back.
He never comes back because he then
Right. That's what I'm saying.
like they
yeah.
split up and he goes and like tries to put the letter behind the painting or the picture or whatever it
Yes.
is.
And then he gets
And
caught.
then get caught by the nurse because she thinks like he's even though she
Insane.
actually you find out that she actually knew
Right.
that
Uh-huh.
where they were from.
I thought it was so funny when he was
And
like,
then
"Would you believe it if I'm from a different Earth
Yeah.
too?"
You know,
And
this is what I
she's
love
like,
about
"No."
Legends is it never goes where you think it's going to go.
No.
And honestly, when they found the painting, or when they were coming up with the painting, the plan to put the letter behind the painting, I was like, that's the episode. You know, we're going to put
Right.
it there. They'll find it,
They'll
and
find
it
it
goes nowhere,
nowhere
near that.
near. No.
I love that of it. It's complete, like they always say, like they have a plan and then they execute it absolutely horribly,
Yeah.
and they somehow
they
get
always
it
have
finished.
a plan B, C, and D.
Yeah.
Right, right. But that's what makes
Which
the
is
show
great.
so much fun. So that's what ends up happening.
Right.
Everything goes
So yeah,
sideways.
yeah. So Leo gets captured, I should say.
Captured in.
And then Constantine and Sarah have like
they're
this
gonna
moment.
perform a lobotomy on poor Leo.
Literally, I
Yeah.
felt so
and
bad.
Sarah and Constantine are hooking up.
But
Oh,
they
it's
don't know
great.
that. They
It's
don't know
great.
that. And
Oh, you're justifying it now? Come on.
No, no.
well, they don't know that all that other stuff is happening. Like they don't
Yeah,
know
but-
that Leo is on.
Yeah, but
is
they
in a
were
dire
even-
situation.
But it also brought up a good point for them two to talk because they're bringing out the darkest parts of them and they're talking to
Yes.
each other about it.
Yeah.
So it drew them, it drew them closer. But at the same time, you're like, "Hello, Leo's in trouble," and
I
they're
just
like,
thought-
It was
was
funny.
so-
I mean, it's it's very Legends to me. It's just funny.
Because when
And-
Leo comes back, he's like, I hope you guys weren't like hooking up while I was, about to get lobotomized.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
it's
let's
so
not talk
funny.
about that.
No,
Which,
but
if
it's
you have the chance, you love Constantine, right?
I do.
I love
do.
Sarah. If you have the chance, jump on either one of them. I think it's a great idea.
It is a great.
Yeah.
But I mean, the chemistry is there for them, like actor wise.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're both they're
Yeah.
both there. But just that part was just like it was also funny to me because that's the first guy that she's been with since Oliver Queen.
I was thinking about that.
Yep.
I was thinking because
No
we always
way.
get
Yes.
we always get relationships with her with
With
a
her
different
girls.
woman,
With the different
different
girls?
women. Yeah.
Really? I
So
didn't
this
even
is the
think
first
about
guy
that.
she's actually hooked up with since Oliver, and I
Mhm.
was like, whoop.
Wow.
And I
Yeah.
love I
Interesting.
forget the name of the girl at the time.
Oh yeah, she's
Force.
awesome.
But obviously, there's some kind
Ava.
of romance
Ava.
Yeah.
hinting with that.
They
Yeah.
hinted out that.
And every
a
time
lot.
she asks the computer for like, like you want to speak to her? Like, do you want some privacy?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, no,
Yeah, Gideon.
just pull her up.
Gideon's like, oh, you want some presents?
You want some
That's
privacy?
pretty
no.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're gonna probably end up going out now.
Oh, I'm sure. But
Yeah,
at
Yeah,
the
no
same
doubt.
time,
And that actress is good. Like I said, Legends is just.
they're
Legends
filled
is
with
good.
great
So many
actors.
of the other shows are about like brooding and tough things. Legends is
Yeah.
just like let's just have fun for 1 hour,
Yeah.
and
Right.
I love it. It's so much fun.
and you don't know what's gonna happen. I think that's what I love
never,
about this.
never.
Yeah. But that scene was very dark, but also very like moving.
Right, because they.
Because they
So-
hook up at the end, and it's like nonchalant, and then they come
Yeah.
out, and they're like, "Oh,
Well,
Leo,
then-
we're
and
gonna
yeah,
save you
yeah,
now."
And then they
Yeah.
save Leo, and then Constantine. Well, Sarah again. Overconfidence in this episode is crazy.
She's
She's
great,
like,
though.
yeah, why don't I just enter the demon and summon the symbol again?
But if you think about it, she's been through so much shit.
That's
that
what-
it's
She
like,
feels like she can get over it.
Yeah.
right, but
she
that's
can-
why I feel like that's dangerous. Which again,
well, yeah, there's a danger to it.
Constantine says too.
You think
Um,
her overconfidence is her weakness?
No,
I think so.
Uh.
I definitely think
Her
so.
faith in her
We'll
friend.
get to that. I mean, the ending when Constantine warns her.
well, yeah,
But-
but
So she goes into the demon and she finds Nora's daughter, who's
Right.
been exorcised for. you know.
before that, we should backtrack and talk about how Ray and what's her name?
Zari.
Yeah, they free her from the asylum and bring her to CC Jitters.
Yeah.
Nora.
Oh,
That's the whole creepy scene.
That's
yeah,
the whole
Nora.
like creepy
Yeah.
scene
Oh my
before
God,
that
dude,
they
I
meet
can't
into the
even-
worlds together.
I
Yeah.
think Jitters is the only place.
I just
in
thought it was
Central
funny
City.
because
In
then we're like,
Central
oh,
City.
we're now in
Yeah,
Star City
so
with
now-
Flash. Like,
Yeah.
what?
So
Well,
that
Central
was
City, and I-
Central City. And
I
then-
really, whenever they do that too, I really wish they would just have a cameo of just somebody,
That's
just somebody
what I'm
just
saying.
walking
But
through.
it wasn't
yeah.
Central City. It said Star City.
Oh, it was Star City.
Yeah.
Star
Oh, okay.
City
Well,
has a
then
CC
Arrow or
Jitters,
something.
too?
Then yeah.
So there was a CC because it said CC Jitters on the when
That's what
everything was getting
I
destroyed.
was thinking that too. I was like, if we're in one of these cities and it's 2017, which they're around, so
Right.
Like, there's no time that like they'd be like, oh,
Yeah,
there
it's
they
just,
are.
It's just a little fan service, but to me, even if
Yeah.
you just saw Cisco like, oh hey, and then just like walking out,
Oh,
like,
hey.
like we
like
had
a
the
little cameo.
Little
yeah, we had the
cameo.
Flash in last week's Arrow. It wasn't even
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just
it
like a
was
red
just
streak,
like-
but
yeah,
it's still
right,
right.
that's
Yeah.
enough to keep us going for like a month. You know, so.
Right.
But yeah, they bring her there to have a heart to heart and hopefully
Get
give
her-
her a good
She
impression
was-
of them.
Right.
Yeah,
know,
and she was like ready to be like, okay, like I'll help you. Let you guys help me. and
Right.
then-
Just happened to be there's a news report. Oh, by the way, Damien Dark
Damien
was
Dark.
killed.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
just killed by the
So
arrow.
while that's
2 years
happening-
ago.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
was
Yeah.
weird. Like, why would it all of a
Yeah,
sudden
why
be on
isn't-
it, the
yeah.
screen?
Yeah, a little
So-
anniversary.
While they're in CC Jitters, she gets Mollis in her as the demon, whatever. But while that's happening, Sarah is also in the demon like world.
Yeah, it's like
with
an astral
Nora.
projection.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Nora. So it's like happening at the same time. And like Sarah's like, "Don't you can fight it?" Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when Nora stops, and they're like, "Oh, it's all good." And then enter Damien.
Yeah, that's
Dark.
when Sarah was like, "You really have to fight it
Yeah.
because I fight it every day." And I think that was a good line for her because it's true. She fights
Yeah.
her inner demons, I should say,
Yeah.
every day.
Right, and I think she gives such a impression of being cool and collected
Right.
when this season's
she's
looking like
freaking
it's
out.
gonna. Right, they're gonna have to kind of flip that a bit because
Yeah.
she's been touched by the dark.
That's
and
what I'm
Molus,
saying.
which I looked it up, it's Mallus. I
Yes.
keep saying molus, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
mollusk.
I looked it up too.
It's
Mollis.
malice, like malice.
Yeah.
But she's been touched by him, and he's either going to possess her or probably turn her his way somehow, maybe, and make her like an evil version of her.
Which
herself or
she's
something.
actually the perfect person because she
Has
came
the
back
dark.
from the dead without a
Right.
soul.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So it's like the only person to jump into would be her
Yeah.
because she's so
So-
vulnerable that way.
So while that's happening, so Nora gets out of the spirit world, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry if I hurt anyone." And then Sarah writes the little symbol. They go back to 2017. So enter Dark, who it's like Nora's in the middle, and then Dark's on one side. Zari and Ray are like, don't do that. And then Dark just shuts them up. And so Nora, and that's when the nurse comes back.
The
which
nurse
you
comes
learn
back.
that,
Yeah,
right.
you learn that she's actually on dark
So
side.
you
And you
can
forget
learn.
how just Dark is so powerful. He could
Oh,
just
yeah.
snap these
Seriously,
people's
yeah.
necks. And
But he doesn't because he likes to play with his food.
Right, well, it's like the same mistake Eobard made last season. He's
Right.
like, wouldn't it be funny if they were here, but we used
Yeah.
the spear to just make them absolutely incompetent?
Yes.
And it's
Yep, that's what
It's like,
happened
no,
to
just
Eobard.
if
Right.
you want to be smart, just kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Dark's awful, dude.
No,
as
You
a-
really don't like him.
No. As a villain, I'm saying he's like such an awful person that it does make it a little enjoyable because he's a good villain.
he is a good villain, and he has
Yeah.
magical powers.
Yeah, and,
which is great.
and he can act. Like I said, Neil McDonough
Yeah,
can
yeah.
act.
Yeah, he's been in other stuff.
He's,
too, like you
he's somebody
saw.
that,
Yeah.
if you really think about the stuff he's been in, he's been around for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and-
he's
yeah.
been in a lot of things.
Yeah.
So then, Nora gets convinced by Dark. He goes with Dark because that whole thing helps Dark with his resurrection because she's the reason that he
Right.
gets resurrected.
Right.
Right.
Later
That's why
on
it has
in
to-
life.
Later on in
Right,
life.
that's why he has to like protect that. I thought that was interesting too. That's part of the whole time plot of the show, but he was
Yeah.
basically had to make sure that his daughter.
Yeah.
Like
you
he
know,
had to
still
be there at
wanted
the
him
right
to be there.
exact moment when like
Yeah,
he
it's a
timed it
weird-
all very well.
You can't think about it too much,
Right.
Because
Can't
it,
think
it
about
will
it.
make a ton of sense. But, yeah,
But I do have a spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
If-
alert.
there's been like 5 spoilers.
No, but this is a real one. Remember how we predicted that Kid Flash was going to come to Legends?
Yes. Yeah, that's definitely.
It's
gonna
true.
happen. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
That's a
100.
spoiler?
No, like he's actually signed on for,
for episodes, yeah.
in Legends.
Oh, I can't wait. I
I'm
love
super excited for
Like
that.
I said,
love Kid Flash.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was pretty excited for that because I wanted a speedster, like a
Yeah.
superhero speedster. Not,
Yeah.
And is Jefferson just? I mean, I didn't love the Victor Garber Jefferson Firestorm
I
thing,
loved Firestorm,
but I didn't need for him to just go.
He
Is
left.
Jefferson just gone?
He
He's
left.
not on the
Yeah.
show. That's it.
I think so.
Well,
Wow.
I
that's
mean,
surprising.
I mean,
They spent a lot of
be
time with this
fair-
character.
To
Yeah.
be fair, there are a number of times where Rip has been like, "All right, I'm leaving the team," and then he comes back. So, I bet Jax will come back.
I think they knew that they needed to change the dynamic of the show because I guess
Yeah.
I really
everyone got
enjoyed
used to it.
Legends,
liked
but the
Firestorm,
first season
though.
I didn't love. Like I said, the second season is maybe my favorite of all the shows. The first season is
Well,
not
then
close.
and then at the end, like Leo leaves because he's like gonna marry his,
So
his
that was-
soulmate.
It's like,
that
I'm
was so
gonna-
cute.
It's like I'm gonna ask Ray to marry. He's like Ray. And he's like, no, not that Ray.
Ray.
Not that Ray, the other Ray.
So, I was like so convinced that Leo was like staying on the Legends episodes.
I mean, I
for,
think
like, all
he'll
this time.
come on and off now. I don't think he's
Yeah.
gonna
So-
stay constant.
because he was only on for
couple episodes.
2 episodes.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah,
so now-
I-
and he just leaves. Like
He
nobody
just
made
feels
a big.
like an extra piece. That we
He'll
don't
be back
need.
in the next episode because he was there in the next episode for the trailer.
Okay.
But-
Oh, really? He is?
Yeah,
I don't know.
but
that.
yeah, I'm sure he'll make like certain cameos now and then because
Yeah.
you can't really get rid of them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They tried and it
They-
didn't work. Like he,
So, so he ends up leaving. Another thing that happens is Constantine warns about Sarah with Malice.
Right, he needs help with the door.
Yeah, he needs help
he
with
has
the
help
door.
with the door
It's like,
and then
Ray,
lights
help
a
me with the
cigarette.
Ray,
door,
help me with
yeah.
the door. And this is where, because this is where Constantine says he's like, yeah, she's like basically what I said, overconfident that she's fine with Mollis, even though she's been there twice. But like, he's
He's
still
worried about
in
her.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guarantee. Yeah, she's easily. That's gonna end up happening where she gets taken over by Mollis, and it's gonna be really bad.
Yeah.
That's definitely
We also have to
something's gonna
touch
happen.
base on.
Rip.
No, that rips the ending. No, the
Okay.
whole. I always forget her name with her. She's the grandmother of the.
Oh
Woman
yeah.
with the water.
Amaya.
Yeah, I always want to call her
Amaya.
They used to call her the Storm was the Weather Witch. I keep calling this girl the Water
The
Witch.
Water Witch.
Um,
That whole dynamic
Kawasa.
was kind of cool because it showed you the family kind of.
yeah, it's interesting. It's a little bit of
Yeah.
a paradox
Right,
on how
right.
she's there, and she's supposed to basically Vixen was told like actually look out for your granddaughter.
Yeah.
And so she's trying to do that, and
But in an evil way.
Well, she seems to be trusting her now. I don't
Yeah.
know what that's really going to lead to. That's kind of an odd.
What I don't get is Kawasa, the water lady.
Whoa.
What?
You know the name?
Yeah,
Okay.
Kawasa. Kawasa,
You
and
let
then
me say
Amaya.
Water Witch. You know the name.
And then Amaya is the grandmother. What I don't get is that at the end of that conversation they had, where she's like, "Oh, let me help you," and then Kawasa's like, "All right, you better not mess up," but then she just leaves.
She waters her way out.
Yeah, what
That
if
was
you
kinda
were
funny. She just
agreeing?
She
puddles
just
out.
puddles out.
It's like
But if
Alex
she was-
Mack. You know.
It's like, peace out.
Yeah.
If she was agreeing to let her help, why'd she leave? Just to do the water effect
Well,
again?
she's going back into the fold maybe, and I don't know.
I don't,
I don't know.
Because she doesn't need to be there. She needs to be gone for the next episode. I think that's what's happening.
Probably.
No, really. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's how
Probably.
a lot of this stuff happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was not necessary, but it was necessary at the same time.
Yeah.
That whole backstory and
She's-
then that scene and everything.
The water lady will.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that
Probably
they did that in
turn.
this episode. I honestly, I kind of
Well,
forgot
yeah,
about
because she like
it.
I forgot she randomly appears at the
Yeah,
hospital.
Yeah.
but it settles that storyline so
Right.
much now. So
Right.
now there's an
Right.
alliance,
'Cause
and
that's been going on for the past few episodes.
right,
too.
and
Yeah.
her village is going to be razed at some point, and,
Yeah.
and she has to try to prevent that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
But I think that's it, right? We recapped
Yeah,
on
I
everything.
think so.
and
Well,
that's-
we didn't talk about Rip.
well, the
At the
very
end,
ending,
Ava-
he escapes.
He apparently escapes time jail, and
Who
the
knows
big-
where he is
we
now?
Don't, we don't know where he is.
Yeah.
Which I think I kind of miss Rip.
I
like-
love Rip. Yeah,
I
Rip's
like
a
him as
good
an actor.
character.
Rip's great.
Obviously, in season 2, he goes a little crazy, but
Well,
that
yeah.
wasn't him. But,
No.
he's a good character.
yeah, Rip's fun.
Good
He
character.
got good
awesome
presence.
actor. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I've been watching him from Doctor Who, so.
Oh yes,
I don't know Doctor Who, but
I knew he was in Doctor. I don't watch it too much.
But yeah, I would love for him to come back sometime.
mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean,
don't
No,
know
I think
when,
I think
though.
he will. For some reason, they've
Well, that's-
decided he's not an essential part of the show.
Yeah.
but he's the one
but
that
to me,
started
he's-
it basically.
I know. Like I said, I think the first season had a few problems, and they wanted to change the dynamic into something more fun and more about the characters. And he was such an external character that he didn't fit in
Yeah.
with that ensemble. So, I think they really nailed it in the second season with that. But
Yeah, without him there.
now that they have that, he kind of came back a couple times when he was the co-captain, and
Right.
he realized
Yeah.
immediately I don't know what I'm
He's
doing
like,
here.
I don't belong here anymore.
Right, like I'm just a
The big
fifth
thing
wheel.
with Rip this season is that he's warned the Time Agency. I forget what they're called.
Time Lords.
Time Lords. About Mollis, like so much apparently. And the Time Lords were like, oh, the director, which he wasn't even the director apparently, was like, yeah, no, it's fine, don't worry. So he ends up going outside of them, working with the Legends, which is illegal, and that's why he gets thrown in jail.
right.
And now
And then he escapes. And so now the whole thing, the next couple episodes, you'll see probably them trying to find him, and he'll show up at
Yeah,
some
Rip
point.
Hunter, Rogue Nation. It's very
Yeah.
it
Rogue
sounds like a
Nation.
Mission Impossible
The
movie.
hunt
yeah.
for Rip Hunter.
But I think it's building well. Like I actually am digging the villain, and with Legends, I'm never bored. I haven't been bored with
No.
one episode.
I'm
of
actually
Legends.
so excited that it's
good.
back because I
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
like
it really is. I think it's the best of all of them.
Yeah.
They make it entertaining every
Of
episode.
all the shows,
Yes.
I disagree with that.
I wouldn't go that far, but
Yeah.
Really?
Flash.
You
would
know how
definitely
much
say-
I love the Flash.
Yeah, that's
but
why I'm surprised.
there
you're
are
saying-
episodes of the Flash where I'm like, this is getting a little boring or a little dumb. Whereas Legends, I'm having fun the entire time, and when it's over, I'm like,
it's also
wow,
the
that
character
flew
dynamic
by.
in
Wow.
Legends that makes it.
Yeah, I think Legends
Yeah.
has the dynamic perfect.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
Well.
we'll see what happens. New characters are coming in.
Mm-hmm. And no Black Lightning next week.
No
right?
Black
No,
Lightning.
Just Legends next week.
So we'll
watch
probably-
for that.
Yeah.
We'll still do an episode. It'll probably be shorter. We thought this one would be shorter, but
Well, we may
It's
have
pretty
some
long.
more to talk about next week. Maybe we'll come up with some
talk
interesting.
about some Supergirl, because
we
I'll
can talk
probably
about
be,
that.
I'll probably
Yeah,
all
we
done by
can we
then.
can figure something out
You know
for
what's
you.
great about Supergirl? That I guess it kind of contrasts Arrow. Is like I feel like every character in Supergirl to me is like likable, whereas in Arrow there's some characters I hate right now.
True.
Really?
Like I love obviously Kara, Martian Manhunter, Wynn.
Well, just
James.
I
wait.
hate
You're not fully caught up, so just wait.
Yeah. I also hate Win. I've hated Win
Oh
since
my
episode
god,
1.
dude! Come on.
Episode 1. He's right there with the.
We'll have
Oliver's son.
to hash this out next
Yeah,
week.
we can talk about this next week.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Well, thanks for tuning in, guys.
iTunes,
Again,
SoundCloud.
Yes.
We have a Twitter page now too.
Twitter
Vigilant-
page, yeah.
yep,
And then if you look for
Vigilante-Verse.
if you look for us, you're gonna find us. There's a YouTube video we put up
Yeah.
as well. But
But yeah.
keep
Yeah.
watching the
keep
shows.
listening to us. We'll do some cool stuff next week, hopefully. I won't be
we'll have
sick
fun.
next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be more chatty.
There's
We'll
been a
have
few
fun.
coughs off.
I know, a
few
off
coughs.
Sorry,
mic.
guys.
It's okay.
Sorry, guys. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you.
Yeah, we'll see you
Next
next week.
Bye.
Bye.